welcome back to my channel. I'm popping my hair up, so you know what time it is. I'm gonna do Get Ready With Me. However, this one is an evening one. So before I start, I have a quick question. So I'm hoping to release merch and I'm trying to develop it at the moment. And I need to do a bit of market research because I want to know how you wear t-shirts and what kinds of t-shirts you wear and how you wear sweatshirts and what kinds of sweatshirts you wear. So if you could tell me, please leave it in the comments or give me a tweet because it would really, really help me. I want to make stuff that you'll actually want to wear and stuff that I would actually want to wear and stuff that other people will actually want to wear. So let me know and you'll be a massive help. Thank you so much. So onto the topic. Today we're going to be talking about not necessarily failure, but not progressing as fast as we'd like to. Because I think this is almost more of a problem, like the idea of stagnating. When you fail, you can pick yourself back up again and you can get on with stuff. But when you're in a position where you keep doing what you think is like the right thing and you don't get any further in your work, in your career, in your studies, in your relationships, that can be so disheartening. So I've already got my concealer on. It is the Milk Makeup concealer and I've already used, wait for it, the cherrybomb.com to moisturize my lips. And now I think I fancy doing a bit of contour. So one of the first times I really remember this stagnating kind of feeling is from when I was in my first year of uni, this time 4 years ago, oh my God, I'm old. This time 4 years ago, I was in uni and I just started. I was about a month and a half in and I was really fast realizing that it was really, really hard and I was completely out of my depth. And it felt like no matter what I did, I couldn't improve. Every time I'd be getting the same kind of grades back, every time I'd receive the same kind of feedback, and it was so disheartening. And everyone else seemed to be making progress and I just wasn't. This feeling of not making progress is actually really affecting me at the moment. It has been for the past couple of months. I feel like in my job I should be being really on it and like making loads of fast progress, and I'm surrounded by people who write books and do huge projects that look really exciting, and I'm not doing any of that, and I've been doing this now for over a year. Like, I want to have a career, and I feel like it's not going on the right track quite yet. Like, I feel like all of my stuff that I do is very internet-based, which is fine, but it's all on, like, specifically YouTube, and, like, on one platform, basically, entirely, and that I do the best I can here, but I need new challenges. And that's made really plain by the fact that I'm reliant upon branded work to make my income, which is quite unstable, and I really need multiple revenue streams. And the big issue is I'm not doing any new or challenging projects. I really am doing the same things every week. Whilst it doesn't feel like I'm failing anything, I'm not progressing. Although comparison is the thief of joy, and I'm well aware of that, all of my friends are doing really cool things, and they've got big projects, and they're pursuing them, and they're doing really well in them. And I think in general that's left me feeling really disheartened and like I'm stuck in a rut. This is the Glossier Haloscope Highlighter in Moonstone. And even though now I am making like small steps in different directions and I'm still trying to pursue those things, I feel like pretty directionless because these aren't in the direction I want to go in. And actually quite without support because there's no one there to help guide me. It's not as easy as saying, oh, I want to do this or I want to do that, and then you're able to do it. It sounds obvious, but obviously this is all very specific to me. Like, I've had similar feelings in very normal circumstances. And also lots of kind of miniature failures can lead to this kind of thing. I always think of like, someone tweeted me the other day and was like, how do I get a job? I go to these interviews and I don't ever get the job. And it's that thing of like, you know you're doing something right because you're getting the interviews, but the job itself isn't happening for you. And it's like, what can I change? Or something I always had is I'd always get grades that were slightly below the grade I wanted. And no matter what I did, I couldn't work out how to get up to that grade. And if I did, I'd just scrape it. I think it can also even apply to your relationships. I know lots of people get to a point where they're in a thing and then for some reason it ends, and it ends in the same kind of way every single time with every person. Or even if they're trying again with someone. And trying to get over that hurdle and trying to work out what the hurdle even is so frustrating. This is the boy brow in brown, by the way. And when it comes to work, it's also really hard because that like disheartened feeling and feeling of kind of melancholy about work, I guess, can lead you to really procrastinate. And I definitely found this kind of midway through the year. I'd burned myself out from trying to make way too many videos, and having lost all creative anything for YouTube. I then felt super lethargic whenever it came to making stuff. And yeah, I'd loved it for years and years, but there was something about that period of time where I just couldn't bring myself to do it. And like, obviously you can challenge all of this, but like it's just so disheartening to feel like all the effort you put in goes to waste. And I 100% get that. Like, I've definitely had that this year. So for me, in my specific situation, I realised very recently that the only way that I can do it is by keeping on pushing forward. Like, no matter what, I've just got to keep going at my snail's pace, even though it feels like a snail's pace to me. And I've actually managed to turn this kind of experience into motivation in a way. I had this real epiphany when I was going through this phase. Maybe, I think it was like August time. I had this meeting and I was just going to all these meetings that were ending up in the same way. And like nothing was getting anywhere. Like, it was all just like hitting brick walls. And I just had this moment where I went, you've just got to accept the ride. Like, you've just got to enjoy the ride, because there's nothing you can do if someone doesn't want to work with you, or if someone can't support your project. You just have to keep pushing through it, because it just wasn't meant to be. If someone doesn't want to work with you on that thing, you don't want them to half-heartedly work with you on that thing. Or you don't want someone to just give you the 70 grade, to give you that distinction just because they feel like they should. You want to have earned it. You want to be completely competent, and at that point, there's no point rushing it. Now we are going on to mascara. I'm using a miniature Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, which I quite like. In fact, I really like, other than the fact that this one flakes. So I think you're meant to have the waterproof mascara. The normal one will flake onto your lower eyes. Like, there's something really motivating about the idea that I can be the best in my own lane. Like, I don't have to be the worst in a bigger lane. It really is a case of doing the best you can in your own lane and not thinking about it like hare and tortoise. You're the giraffe. No, that wouldn't race. What would race? You're just the rabbit, man. You're just the rabbit. And then ultimately, probably the reason you're not progressing is because you're not ready. And then once you are ready to move into that lane, it will happen. It's like the stuff you see on Twitter, like it's all in God's plan and everything. Like, whilst I don't necessarily think it's God's plan, I do believe that it is a thing about your time will come, and if you work hard and you just keep on working hard, it will happen. Does anyone else ever do this? Just get it all on their upper eyelid and have to wipe it all off as soon as you've applied the mascara. And weirdly, this does actually lead back to the merch. Like, this is something that I didn't necessarily think was my next step, because, as I'm sure you've gathered, like, I'm not just going to release something with Lucy Moon written on it and send it out to people. Like, you're an intelligent audience, and I don't think, whilst there might be some people you would buy merch for, I don't think that I'm that person for that specifically. However, I've realised it's actually a really fun challenge for me personally to make something that I think everyone will really like. And I'm really inspired by people like Nathan and people like Savannah, who've done really wonderful merch that is really appealing across the board and is really accessible. And it feels like I want people to wear it and be like, oh, we're in a secret club. Because that's how I used to feel when I bought DFTBA merch. I didn't buy merch with Vlogbrothers written on it. I bought a Pizza John tee, or I bought Mika Kitty merch. Wow, that's a throwback. Like, that element of it is really fun, and there's a real part of me that loves designing stuff and putting my stamp on something, and it's a new creative challenge for me. So yeah, I'm really excited for that. And while it's not the direction I thought I'd be going in now, I'm glad to be doing it. And like, ultimately, when I'm ready to be in those positions, and when I feel at my most confident and my most capable, I just have a feeling they will like ultimately happen. I think there's a reason that I'm not progressing at the rate I want to. And I've just got to trust in the process. I'm going to up this a second because it's... Also, I have to keep reminding myself, and I'd imagine you're in the same boat here, we're young. Like, I'm 22. I don't need to be stressing about having my whole career planned out, about my 5-year plan, about any of this. I'm so young. Most people don't even know what they want to do until they're like 30. And we have years and years. And I And like, we have years and years to pursue what we want to pursue and learn how to jump over these hurdles. Like, I was at the beginning of my degree. Sure enough, I actually got through the whole thing. I learned a lot on the way. I improved so much. And at the end of the day, I got a 65, which is not bad. Like, I can hold up my degree and be like, I did it, you know? Right, I'm gonna try this Glossier lipstick in Zip. And this is also the way that I approach alcohol too. I don't have to have it all figured out quite yet, but hopefully by thinking about it at this age, I'll be like kind of laying foundations for being self-aware and being confident and having contingency plans and all of this kind of stuff, so that if I do feel like it goes out of control, or if I don't know quite where I'm at with it, I can always like root back and like root myself and like ground myself and work out how I'm feeling. Don't know how I feel about this colour, but we'll give it a go for today. So, the moral of this story is that you're allowed to be in this position. Like, while it sucks to feel like you're not making progress, it's ultimately going to be all right in the end. It will just take longer than you're expecting it to. And that's what I've learned, but it's taken me such a long time to learn that, and that's okay too. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Do let me know in the comments anything about how you wear t-shirts and how you wear sweatshirts. I'd really appreciate it. Or sweaters. What do we call them? Anyway, thanks so much again for watching. Hope you enjoy my evening look. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.